A quarterback steps under center, and the boundaries of football start to widen. Johnny Unitas didn't invent the pass itself. He invented how it was used, how it could command space, silence a crowd, and rewire expectations every Sunday. The facts tell a cleaner story than memory alone. A Pittsburgh kid, overlooked, released after being drafted in the 9th round, who reshaped football as soon as the Baltimore Colts gave him a roster spot in 1956. It wasn't instant legend, just the start of a process that lifted the NFL out of the run-heavy past and into a new era where thinking, timing, and flash could win titles. Unitas arrived in Baltimore with 3 guiding traits: toughness, intelligence, and an arm that zipped passes against any coverage. Instead of simply managing the game, he called plays in the huddle, scanned defenses, and launched balls deep, short, over the middle, and into the corners. In an era when coaches feared turnovers and stuck to off-tackle and option runs, Unitas trusted his arm and receivers and asked them to trust themselves when the game called for risk. The numbers define a new standard. Over 18 NFL seasons, mostly with the Colts, Unitas threw for 40,239 yards, 290 touchdowns, and 2,830 completions in just 5,186 attempts. He led the NFL in passing yards 4 times: 1957, 1959, 1960, 1963. Touchdown passes 4 straight times, 1957 to 1960, and in passer rating twice. 3 MVPs, 1959, 1964, 1967, 5 first-team All-Pro honors, 3 more on the second team, and 10 Pro Bowls round out a resume forged in brutal run-first conditions. Before rules made passing easier for stars, Unitas already held the record for most career passing yards, touchdowns, and completions at retirement, sitting atop statistical leaderboards in an unforgiving league. The first to pass 40,000 yards, he played in 211 regular season games and 3 more championship seasons, showing up week after week to outthink, outlast, and outthrow defenses. 60 years before 2-minute drill became NFL shorthand, Unitas made it a weapon. His 47-game consecutive touchdown streak, set between 1956 and 1960, lasted for more than half a century, only bested in 2012. In that run, he threw for at least 1 touchdown every Sunday for 4 years, despite defenses prepping to stop only him. He was the first NFL quarterback to reach 30 touchdown passes in a season, 32 in 1959, and his stretch from 1957 to 1960 had him topping the league in TD passes every year. In those prime seasons, Unitas averaged over 200 passing yards per game, a stat now considered ordinary, but during 12 and 14-game seasons, it meant dominance. Moments define quarterbacks as much as records. The 1958 NFL championship game, the greatest game ever played, became Johnny U's signature. Against the New York Giants, Unitas engineered a game-tying drive and sudden death-scoring march on national television, setting the standard for clutch, for overtime, and for the NFL acting with the drama of a national theater. He played through 3 broken ribs. He won the title in overtime, sparking America's fascination with pro football and laying a blueprint for what quarterback heroics mean. A year later, he repeated with another championship over the Giants, clinching an MVP and launching the Colts as football's gold standard. His fourth-quarter comebacks were relentless, leading the league in that category 6 times. He directed the offense, read defensive movement, and changed plays on the fly, creating the building blocks for every quick-strike strategy now used in pressure moments. Vince Lombardi called him the best quarterback ever, saying, "Without him, they're just ordinary. With him, they're great." Unitas guided Baltimore to a 3rd NFL championship in 1970. By that point, he'd survived a devastating elbow injury, rebuilt his mechanics, and taught mental toughness by example. Not flash or drama, but methodical focus. He appeared in 2 Super Bowls, with a win in Super Bowl V over the Dallas Cowboys. His late career stint with the Chargers in 1973 gave him the milestone of being the first to eclipse 40,000 passing yards, bookending a run filled with durability and versatility. He was a player for the all-decade team of the 1960s, but also for the NFL's 50th, 75th, and 100th anniversary teams, a short list that proves his impact was structural, not just statistical. At retirement, he had set the bar so high that only the coming of the passing era decades later would see others match his career totals. He has the rare distinction of leading the NFL in passing yards, TD passes, and fourth-quarter comebacks more than any peer in his generation. Style matters, especially as the league blended spectacle and calculation. Unitas built routes with Raymond Berry, Lenny Moore, Jimmy Orr, and more, forming dynamic duos and trios that stretched defenses beyond their previous range. He was a pioneer of wide splits, timing sequences, and the back shoulder fade. Every time he changed a play at the line, he handed future quarterbacks permission to shape games themselves. The hurry-up offense and audible culture didn't start in a notebook. They started in Johnny Unitas' huddle. Unitas' career wasn't all ascent. Injuries late in his run, especially arm and knee troubles, reduced his effectiveness. In his final 6 seasons, his passer rating dropped and he threw more interceptions than touchdowns. But those later years do not erase the stretch of dominance, especially considering that over his first 12 seasons, he averaged 215 passing yards per game and a passer rating approaching 83. Numbers that, in context, with smaller seasons, tough defenses, and conservative play calling, confirmed his place among football's elite. He rushed for 1,777 yards and 13 touchdowns. He wore black high-top shoes, sporting a buzz cut and a steely gaze that made leadership seem like geometry more than poetry. His relationship with Baltimore forged a football identity in the city. Fans followed not just because of wins, but for what Unitas represented: reliability, perseverance, and the hope that every drive could end with brilliance. After his playing days, Unitas remained close to football and Baltimore, mentoring younger players and earning recognition as an ambassador for professionalism and grit. He was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1979 and named Player of the Decade for the 1960s. Whenever quarterback rankings come up, Unitas lands in the discussion for the greatest ever, not solely for records, but for changing how quarterbacks lead and win. No narration needs flourish here. The substance is in the summary. 18 NFL seasons, 40,239 passing yards, 290 touchdowns, 2,830 completions, 211 games played, 3 NFL championships, 1 Super Bowl, 3 MVPs, 10 Pro Bowls, 5 All-Pro first teams, 47 consecutive games with a touchdown pass. The original 2-minute drill, the contemporary passing tree, modern quarterback play calling, and audibles. Unitas helped invent all of it. Johnny Unitas was not just a record holder or a face on old highlight film. He was the blueprint, the quarterback who could see the future and throw into it. The quarterback who didn't just play the modern passing game, he made it week by week, from the line of scrimmage, from the locker room, and from the huddle. Every Sunday throw, every broadcast, every comeback has a trace of his DNA. When fans ask where the game changed, point to number 19. In the NFL's biggest moments and its smallest details, Johnny Unitas stands as proof that invention doesn't ask for permission. It asks for results.